Welcome inside the Treehouse. It's time to leave your worries outside and join me, Dan O'Malley, Trey Trenholm, and Raj Sharma to celebrate Friday, the Friday right before Halloween 2023. Welcome to Friday. You've made it. This long week that's been filled with some good news. Rangers in the World Series. Yay. The Congress finally has themselves a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Yeah, for now, exactly.
It might be it might be a new one in 30 days. We'll see. We'll see. So much going on in the world. Most of which we will not discuss in here because that would be sad and demoralizing and everything that this treehouse stands against.
Absolutely.
We stand for stupid. Friday episode of the Treehouse podcast is the beacon in the field of stupid. Which is a great time to mention to you our friends at the Dallas Comedy Club who are so gracious to sponsor this here stupid because there's things in this treehouse that we love, and comedy is near the top of that list. So this weekend, you need something to do. In addition to going to Hangman's House of Horrors to enjoy the weekend before Halloween, you should go see Jeffrey Asmus at the Dallas Comedy Club in Deep Ellum. For ticket info, dallas-comedyclub.com. That's dallas-comedyclub.com for a fun-filled evening of laughs and drinks and things. And enjoy the safe corner of Deep Ellum at the Dallas Comedy Club, your new home for comedy in Dallas-Fort Worth. Dallas Comedy Club, dallas-comedyclub.com. I have to admit to you guys, I'm still tired. It's been a week for me trying to figure out housing situations.
Yeah.
And me thrusting all the packing duties and things of moving onto my wife because I have been knee deep in producing, editing, writing all this stuff for the Halloween special. I was doing it almost nonstop from Saturday through like Wednesday morning.
Wow.
It was interesting. One, because it's challenging. But it's also interesting because as much as I could complain about how long it took and finding sound effects for things, which Trey, thank you for helping me find so many of them. But you can never have enough when you're doing an audio production. See, Hollywood, they can get away, television, movies, they can get away with more things because it's visual. You don't have to have the sound for everything. When you're doing a special or a program that is audio based, you have to find the sound for everything. Otherwise, it's just someone telling you something, and that's not fun or interesting.
And I'm sure, and I know you, and like you listen to 100 different, footsteps on a floor before you found the right one.
See, I want to say you don't know me. But the truth is, I have. I now know every possible Foleyed footstep in production libraries in every corner of the internet.
Yes.
I know the file names to give you for like a hard sole shoes on hardwood.
Okay.
I know where to point you in the direction to find cowboy boots going through grass.
Interesting.
I even, because we have Jerry Caldwell in the Halloween special, I also know where to find stilettos running on cement in a production library somewhere. Yeah. I also know all the different places on the internet to go to find splash noises, but not just any splash, because I need specifically not splash of things going into the water. There's at least 3 instances where I needed sound effects for someone or something coming out of the water. Those are really hard to find.
Now, are there specific ones like flailing?
Flailing is not a good search term when you're searching for production stuff. The good news is I have experience doing this. So in 25 years working in radio and doing these Halloween or Christmas specials that we've done throughout the years doing radio production in general, you learn how to search for things. And because of that, when you find a library, especially online or computer based, you know the words to use, like slip and fall. Or if you need something to sound like, it's really descriptive words. I needed to find blood splatter, not splatter.
Gotcha.
I need to find bones crunching and breaking, but I also know that when you go and look up these sounds in these libraries, it'll be the sound, but it's not the sound you want. I'll give you a good example. In the special, I tell you, Raj, to grab a machete off the edge of the boat and hit whiskey barrels so liquid can spew forth. I couldn't quite find the exact thing I was looking for the whiskey to spew out of the barrels.
Gotcha.
But I found plenty of what they're called impacts. Like if you're searching a production library, you want a sword impact wood. Okay.
Gotcha.
The problem is when you go and find it, this is what it sounds like.
Oh,
that sucks when you're doing the thing and you're like, that doesn't sound cool. That's why a lot of times in films they have these cool noises that they have to absolutely just create. So like all the cool stuff in Star Wars, all those things was the Foley department. The Foleying is where it's the guys that create sound. They would just go find things and create them. And that now becomes Star Wars sound effects. Those things did not exist beforehand. They just went outside. They went to garages. They stuck their fingers in light sockets. They licked power lines and shook metal sheets and things. They created those noises. Yeah. And so when you find the real noise of the thing that you're looking for, it typically sucks. So it has to be bigger and bolder. And sorry, I'm going on way too long about audio production on a podcast. That's supposed to be entertaining for people.
No, it's like, I mean, one of the best examples is Darth Vader breathing is scuba gear.
Ah, gotcha.
They searched high and low and then came upon that.
I know bones breaking. Sometimes they'll just take a celery, like a couple of sticks of celery or stalks of celery,
and a lot of times, and bones breaking is one of my favorite examples of this, where you go and look up a sound and you get the thing that says bones breaking, and it sounds weak. It doesn't sound as loud and dangerous as it needs to be. So instead of looking up a bone break, you should then go and find like a redwood snapping in half. That's the sound you want.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So you have to learn. You have to kind of figure out how to navigate those waters. Kind of like the three of us did in the Halloween special 2023. Three of us on a boat, no hose. maybe we can write the hose in for the sequel. Jowls 2, boats and hose. So anyway, I feel like I have earned this Friday. We all have, because we did a lot of work. We put a lot of work into that special. I will say that this Halloween special that we have done is truly, truly special. It's extra stupid. And the most terrifying thing in it is, without a doubt, our acting.
Yeah, I've never done voiceover stuff, so that was kind of fun for me. You're a very good director, I will say that.
Thank you.
You're very good at giving direction on how you want the lines read and done. So that was kind of cool to do. And so I don't know if I can put this on. I'll have to listen to it. I don't know if I'll put it on my resume as having done radio voiceover stuff.
I'm just glad that there's no. The writer strike is over, but the actor strike is still going on. I might be careful promoting it too much, Raj, because I don't want you getting in trouble with the union, because that would actually make our production kind of a scab thing, and it's not meant to be.
No, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be. I'll have to actually look at the rules now that you brought that up.
Call your agent.
Yeah, I have to now.
The rules
get some clarification.
The rules on that are so arcane and weird. Like
they're also confusing.
Well, they are, because there's exemptions for like Saturday Night Live, for the late night shows. There's all these exemptions, like why with the writers now back working, they can do late night shows and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
and I was listening to someone explain all the different rules, and it was fascinating how they've done that.
Yeah, but I joined I believe because I joined the show before the strike. I believe right before the strike went official. I think I would, like, if I needed to get an exemption, I could. I don't think
Gotcha.
we'll need it. But
Well, yeah, because technically it's like if you're a variety show, like
Yeah.
kind of like this, then you're exempt.
yeah,
As long as you're not promoting something else that would be embargoed by
yeah.
SAG.
It goes
Which is
even
why
as-
when we had our buddy Tone Bell on, he did not promote the Netflix show what is it?
Survival of the Thickest.
Yeah. He didn't promote that because he was not allowed to. Doesn't mean we couldn't.
Right. But now it goes even as far as for Halloween, SAG sent out a thing saying not to dress up as any of the characters on any of the stricken shows.
Okay,
Because that's technically promoting a show that's on strike. It's very weird.
but
you
if I
can't-
wanted to dress up as, you know, a character from a TV show from years ago that's not currently in production, I would.
Correct.
Not me, but you would be okay.
I would be all right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if I were to go as Tone Bell, in Survival of the Thickest, I'd get in trouble.
I'd like to see you in those costumes with that hair.
Yeah. Me too.
I'd rather see Trey, but I don't want him getting in trouble.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be by SAG, so it'd be all right.
No, that'd be a completely different organization. All right, as I mentioned, today is Friday, October 27, 2023. Time for birthdays. He played, I'm not sure if it's on right now or not, Barry Goldberg on ABC's The Goldbergs. That is Troy Gentile. He is 30 today. It's one of those shows I've always heard really good things about, but I just have not watched it.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Never watched
I
it.
think Jeff Garland is the dad, I believe.
Mhm.
Yep.
I've known Jeff for a few years. He's a solid dude. And then my buddy Brian Callen, I believe, was got the offshoot of it. I think there was a spinoff that got canceled. I think he might have gotten Me Too'd. I don't remember. We don't really talk anymore. But he was the gym gym teacher, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very funny spoof of the 80s. And
I think maybe what we should do is start up an actual sitcom and just call it Raj's Friends.
that would be fun. That would be a good show. I don't know what anybody would do in it, but it'd be a good show. It'd be a very funny show to watch.
Well, it'd be a change of pace for once they can sit around and tell stories about you.
Yeah, it'd be not. It'll be all like the people that would be on that show would be. We could just call none of these guys got Me Too'd. Everyone's appropriate. Like I don't know what we call it.
I have to ask, what is Tood?
Me Too. The whole Me Too movement.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It sounded like you were saying that got
Me Too.
I see. You said got Me Too'd. I thought you meant like you as in me, not Me Too'd,
No,
like you
the
did
movement.
bad things to women type stuff.
Yeah, no.
I feel like it needs to have a different term for it because obviously it's confusing. Have you been Me Too'd? Me too.
Well, the Eddie Ift has a very funny bit about this where he talks about it's hashtag Me Too,
Mhm.
and he's like, "That's great," and I'm glad you got have the hashtag. He goes, "But my generation, that was the pound symbol, so that looks terrible." You know what I mean?
Pound sign Me Too.
Yeah. So
Pound
but
Me
it's
Too.
be
Yeah.
but it'd also be the whole show would be a bunch of guys that appropriate with people. I don't know what the show would be called. Nobody took their junk out on camera or whatever in a text. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's a very funny spin-off of the 80s. I think it's really well done.
Other birthdays today. Ozzy Osbourne's daughter Kelly is 39. Not the other one. I forget the other daughter's name. It's the older daughter who actually was not on the Osbourne. She wanted nothing to do with it. She's one of those people that if you go back and watch those shows, if they're available somewhere, she's the one typically blurred out in the background.
Amy
Osbourne. Thank you. Patrick Fugit is 41 today. He is from the Cinemax horror series Outcast, but I think we all mostly know him from Almost Famous. He played young Will in Almost Famous. He was also the cop who hated Ben Affleck in Gone Girl, which is understandable. there's something else he was into, but I'm drawing a blank on what it was. But he's still going. Not as, I mean, it's hard to top, that role in Almost Famous, but he's still going. So good for him. And we didn't get a chance to really celebrate it a whole lot because we're not all together at the same time. Raj, how was your birthday the other day?
It was really nice, man. I had a very, very good day. Had a nice breakfast, solid lunch. Just kind of did what I wanted to do, and
isn't it nice when you get that one day a year?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling my girlfriend this. It's like birthdays for first generation Indian kids. It just depended. Like some have like great, amazing experiences with like bouncy houses and whatever. Like like the birthdays in India for them like weren't a big deal. Like in India, like when in your teenage and young adult, like you take your the birthday person, you treat your friends out. They don't buy anything for you. So it just was never a big deal. And like I have a couple of pictures where you can see the saddest, like just people around the table. And there's one where it's just a sheet, like the cake that you would get at Tom Thumb that they already had made. They just had to do the writing on it. And this was like, there's a Batman and a Robin. And I think it just hit Marvel on the other side of the cake for no apparent reason. And then it goes like Wolverine, whatever. And everybody around the table, like three people are crying. And I'm the only one smiling. And I was like, that's my birthday. That's what I remember it being. And like, I wanted to invite as many of my classmates as I could to come over because nobody in my family knew the words to the happy birthday. They just kept singing, happy birthday to you. And that's all it would be. Like there's no Dear Raj, there's no pitch. It's just, and it would just go on. And at one point, I'm just like, I got to blow these candles out, man. This could go on for an hour. And even that's when I knew I was funny. I'm like, I just want to see how long I can keep this going without blowing out any candles. And just the happy birthday, just over and over and over again. And after about 2 minutes, I was like, okay, I got to blow the candles out. So
yeah, I'm definitely the opposite. I don't enjoy being the center of attention for unwarranted purposes. So yeah. I've disliked birthdays ever since my first one. I cried and screamed when they were singing happy birthday, all the way up to and including my 19th or 20th birthday, where my family took me to Texas Roadhouse for lunch. And I hid in the bathroom for about 45 minutes to avoid the napkin dance.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And every event in our family was at El Phoenix. So birthday, anniversary, anything anybody was celebrating, it was El Phoenix because that was the only place my vegetarian father could eat. I kind of assumed
that your dad would have taken you to Taco Bell, given how much he loved it.
That was the high end version of Taco Bell. Was El Phoenix. Okay. And so the conversation would just be like, "It's your birthday. Where do you want to eat?" And I'm like, well, "Let's just try somewhere new." Okay, whatever do you want? And I'm like, "All right, let's go. Let's try this new place." P.F. Chang's. Like, what will your father eat there? And I'm like, how about El Phoenix? Yeah, if you want to, okay. I'm like, that's not.
I've always felt bad for Trey though, because on his birthday, I think he has to share the cake with Belt. It's very awkward.
Actually, Belt gives me a piece.
Birthday spankings.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. 833-COOK-DFW for your free roof inspection. 833-COOK-DFW or the website cookdfw.com. Wow. Well, birthdays are done, so now let's get into some really, really seriously stupid things, because Trey had fun searching this week.
Okay.
I just imagine Trey working at the bar and he's just probably being spoken to by a 22-year-old. He just like, pulls his phone out and just starts doing show prep.
Not far from it. Although I did have a fascinating experience on Monday night.
What was that?
A woman who looked exactly and sounded like Jean Kasem. If you don't know who that is, Google it. She was the epitome of ditzy blonde in 80s and 90s sitcoms.
She was on Cheers. She played Carla's ex-husband's wife.
New wife. Yes. And a bunch of other, she was on Night Court, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
So this woman's at the bar and she was very drunk and she pulled her boob out and squirted the guy next to her with breast milk.
I'm sorry, what?
And he liked it. And although I have asked everyone in the service industry, you see a lot of weird stuff and that tops everything. And that guy was like, that hadn't happened to me since I was in a strip club in Houston 10 years ago. It's like, oh my Lord.
Wow.
Wow, that is a lot to unpack. I have many questions.
Okay. Me too.
First of all, I've known Houston is dirty, but I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, did this guy know the lady before she squirted him with the breast milk? No. So that's how they met.
Yeah, she was with a boyfriend, husband, whatever, and no.
Okay.
All right, my third question is how?
I mean, she pulled her boob out and squeezed her nipple, and out came milk. I
Poor question on my part. I'd like to amend.
Yep. I second that motion.
3B. Why?
I've quit trying to make sense of drunk people a long time ago.
I get that, but I mean, like, was she doing it because, like, let's go through the emotions. Was she doing it because she was happy? Because she was mad?
Funny?
She was happy. She had been at another table singing the famous Two Live Crew song. And then somehow was talking to this guy. I do not know the ins and outs of the conversation. I just know the end result. So there's a lot of gray area I have too. And what leads one to that point, I do not know.
Because I mean, it's like you said, I mean, was she so excited about the Rangers going to the World Series that was the way she could express herself, was by exposing her breast and squeezing
by expressing
breast
herself?
Milk? Yeah, actually, yeah. Or did the guy next to her say something really insulting, and instead of shooting him with a gun, she shot him with her boob?
No, it wasn't done out of anger. Now I don't know if it was flirtation. I don't know if she and her boyfriend, husband, or swing. I don't know. I don't know if that has worked for them in the past.
I'd like to amend Dan's 3B, and mine 36D would be
fitting.
Do you then for future guests, patrons, I guess, do you ban this person because she didn't technically hurt anybody? Everyone seemed to enjoy it.
You better not, because there are factions in this world that if you wrong one, you have wronged them all. One is cyclists. If you say something bad or make an off joke about a cyclist getting hurt or something like that, they will come out in droves to get you. Another one is breastfeeding. The breastfeeders of America will defend their rights and privileges and all those things hereto within to breastfeed how, when, where, who, whatever they see fit.
Well, two things. If I do offend cyclists, which I have, and there's way too many Lance Armstrong one ball jokes, that if they did come out,
I feel like there's enough of those.
Yeah, but like if they did come out in droves, I would get away from them by banking hard left. And number two, she wasn't breastfeeding somebody. Technically, that could be if that guy didn't find it funny, depending on a phobia or whatever, or a religion or whatever, he could have found that harmful and or offensive. So she was.
I'd actually be curious to ask a police officer if that would be considered assault.
Assault, right? I don't know, but
I guess at that point it just depends on the recipient. If he's thumbs up, you're cool, but if he's thumbs down, you might be going to jail.
Do you walk up to that lady, and as the manager, Trey, do you walk up and go, "Excuse me, no outside food or drink"?
TABC looks down on that.
Yeah. What do you say in that moment?
I stunned. Just you need to leave.
I think you nailed his answer right there.
We were all. It was so dumbfounding that it took. Luckily, we had a security guy there who escorted her out, and she really didn't want to go. She didn't really think she had done anything wrong. And like I said, the recipient, he thought it was great. I think most people would not.
Put me on the side of I would not be happy to get squirted in the face by breast milk, especially straight from the source.
That's when that's a hard day to find out you're lactose intolerant. Is that what the breastfeeding community calls people that dislike them? Those guys are just lactose intolerant.
I hate you for having said that.
I'm sorry, are you lactose intolerant? Is that what it is? You get a little rumbly when you see it?
Oh, fuck that show.
Yeah.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of The Treehouse is brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. Brooks Plumbing, 214-368-3838. That's 214-368-3838 for all of your plumbing wants and needs. Call our dear friends at Brooks Plumbing. The website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. Nothing official yet, but we should soon. No, I just used the S word. I put some money in the jar. We hope to have soon an interesting / fun, exciting announcement about a Treehouse Christmas Roadshow.
Yay!
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We will let you know. For info on that, you can obviously listen to the shows or follow us on social media at Treehouse On Air. We'll get all those details when they become available and we get everything ironed out. Until then,
may I plug something real fast?
Yeah, I'm just based on the content so far of today's show with the breast milk and all the ad play from the football podcast yesterday. I'm just a little wary of your verb.
On Saturday, I will be in front of Big Al's Down the Hatch in downtown Waxahachie for the Bob Phillips Texas Country Reporter Festival. So if you're down that way, please come say hi, buy a beer, shot, whatever.
He has a festival?
I
don't mean Al. I mean
Bob Phillips. Yes, every year, and it draws like thousands and thousands of people. It's
really,
yes. Yeah, I thought it was a joke at first when I went down there last year because Al's wife is my best friend Amy, and
you're talking about Al from Craddock Show,
Big Al, and
the only reason I say that is because while Big Al I think is better known, there was a second Big Al that used to have a hamburger place in North Arlington when I was there. The difference there was he was not actually big, and he also was not black.
But so yeah, it's amazing, and it's actually entertaining. I mean, they have the food is really good. They bring in their food trucks from all over, and surprisingly, like I said, thousands of people go down there for it.
So what do they do?
They have music
like
all day,
crafts and stuff.
There's all sorts of. I mean, think about it. I'm sure we're aging ourselves talking. I mean, although it's still on, Texas Country Reporter, Bob Phillips went around the state and like a little magazine show highlighting people who did, arts and craftsy things and this and that. So yeah, it's a bunch of people that make everything from, trinkets and metalworks, and so shirts, clothing, pretty much anything you can think of. Knives.
I give that guy credit, man. He turned an entire career after just going around and asking people, "What do you do?"
It's the DQ guy, right? That's who we're talking about.
Yes,
At one time, he was the guy before the two guys that, for whatever reason, spurned controversy because they seemed like some people thought they were gay or something. But no, yeah, Bob Phillips came before those guys. Even though I actually like those commercials.
Okay, I think I remember this guy. Like, just goes to like mom and pop shops or whatever. Like, he's like the diners, drive-ins, and dives before Guy Fieri kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do I remember? Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, you've got it. You've absolutely got it.
Yeah, more like,
he's got a festival.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that is. And thousands of people, you say.
It really makes you think that anything truly is possible. Like maybe one day we could have a festival.
I think we need to address this now. That this time next year, we need to have a festival.
Oh, okay, good. I thought you were saying this time next year, maybe we'll be big enough that we could have a booth at Bob Phillips Festival.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should we just baby step this one? I don't know.
And I don't know how much the booths cost, but
Yeah. Okay. Let's. Well then. Yeah. We should. We have to figure out how to have our own festival. That will. Where do we have downtown? Where is downtown Treehouse? Where would that?
Man,
because he's got Waxahachie on lock apparently. So we're not trying to.
It's already been done. We can't.
I don't want to step on Phillips's hood on his territory. I don't want to.
The last thing we want is to have a turf war with 8 Country Reporter.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to get bitch slapped with a steak finger basket. On two reasons. It'd be hot, and how insulting for a Hindu.
All right, we'll get together some ideas. We'll brainstorm. We'll come up with the Treehouse Festival. Really, all you need to have a festival is like a couple of booths, and we'll get Fletcher's Corny Dogs there. Everybody be happy.
And we'll pull up in a clown car.
Now it's a party. Speaking of parties, maybe something we could have at our Treehouse Podcast Festival. Maybe we could have a taste testing of the brand new Pepper X, which is now the hottest hot pepper in the world. The guy that made it broke his own Guinness heat record for making the Pepper X.
Okay.
So this is the same guy that gave us the Carolina Reaper, right?
Oh, gotcha.
He decided that's not good enough. I have not maimed nearly enough people in my life that I need to still concoct hotter peppers. His name is Ed Curry, a South Carolina hot pepper expert who crossbred and grew the Carolina Reaper that is hotter than most pepper sprays that police use to subdue other festivals. He has broken his own world record with a pepper that is 3 times hotter than the Carolina Reaper.
Wow.
Why?
I don't know. This is one of those times where I think back on the line that Jeff Goldblum had in Jurassic Park, where scientists are so worried about whether or not they could, they didn't stop and ask if they should.
Yeah. What do you use it for? Like, Indian food is very spicy. Like, we use the serrano, we use ghost pepper, things like that. Like, what would you use this in? What is the?
Well, I always assumed that the spices that Indians put in their food was to get revenge on the English eating their food.
Yes.
That was kind of my assumption as to where it started, by saying to these English people who are, taking over their land and, all these terrible things to the Indian people, like, oh yeah, this is normal to us. Here, you eat this. And next thing you know, they're on the ground crying their way back to London.
Yes, but then they also were like, when they got back to London, found themselves missing it. So they were like, hey, can you guys come here too? And we're like, that was part of the plan. And now Patel is the number one surname in all of the UK.
Yeah. So as far as the purpose of this pepper,
Yeah.
I think it's other than just for me to alliterate unnecessarily, it has a lot to do with this guy just trying to outdo himself. Because you
Yeah.
know, people will say, especially when it comes to motivational things, your only competition is with yourself. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. You just measure
Yes.
yourself against yourself, and that's all you need. And that
That's
is
actually,
apparently driving this guy to insane amounts of heat.
yeah, you're feeling your Indian vibe, Dan, because that's a Hindu proverb. There's
Really,
no nobility in being superior to another person. True nobility is being superior to yourself, your former self.
I
Uh,
agree with that.
yeah, I'm digging this. I've had ghost pepper, and I had a ghost pepper on accident, and that's when I realized I could handle the ghost pepper, but it still was a jolt. I was on an Emirates flight, and for the first time, I go, I'll take the Indian meal. Normally, I'll just get like the beef or the chicken.
I thought I heard at some point that you couldn't have ghost peppers on flights. Like it was it
Oh,
an actual, true, honest to God ghost pepper, or was
I
it a dish that had like little bits, essences of it?
no, it was a. So I got the rice and lentils. I don't know what I was thinking. I normally just get like whatever chicken or beef dish they have, uh, and I was like, you know what? I'll do the vegetarian Indian. And they're like, okay, it's dal and rice, lentils and rice, and the container. I open it up, and there's a white pepper on top. And I eat traditionally like with my lentils and rice. I have a serrano pepper that I just put a little salt on, and every bite I'll take a bite of that, um, and that's how I eat that with some onion or whatever. And it's got the onion, it's got the white little pepper. It was about that big,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, never seen that before. In one spoon, took the whole pepper with some lentils and rice, and then ate it.
And here you are living to tell the tale.
Yes, and I had never known outside of football in Mesquite in the summer for the top of my head to start sweating before any like I didn't like it hit like and I was like, oh, that can't be served on this flight. Like I don't know who this is for, and I don't know. This is when I know Indian people didn't make this dish, or they really hate everybody in the UAE because I took a bite and then it hit instantly, and I was like, oh, I don't think I was supposed to eat the whole thing at once. And then from here, it just
Top of
started
your
like
head.
literally pouring sweat. I was
So
like,
you were like a human fountain.
for a solid for a solid 2 to 3 minutes. I was like, and then it was fine. But for 2 to 3 minutes, I was questioning ever on any other flight in the history of flights getting the Indian vegetarian meal ever again. So I
In
can't
that case,
imagine.
I would be very curious to see you try either the Carolina Reaper or this
Yes,
brand new pepper that this crazy man
I
invented that is now 3 times hotter than the Carolina Reaper, the Pepper X. This
wow.
guy is not one of those guys who's going to create something and not try it himself. He tries it himself. So
I don't know about
he's
really.
his own guinea pig. He says that it is immediate brutal heat, the Pepper X. He said, I was feeling the heat for 3.5 hours, then the cramps came. He also said, those cramps are horrible. I was laid out flat on a marble wall for approximately an hour in the rain, groaning in pain. So far, he is only one of 5 people to eat an entire Pepper X. Now, heat in peppers is measured in the Scoville heat units.
Mhm,
0 is bland. A regular jalapeno registers about 5,000 units.
mhm.
A habanero, which was the record holder 25 years ago, typically tops 100,000. The Guinness Book of World Records lists the Carolina Reaper at 1.64 million units. The Pepper X is an average of 2.69 million Scoville units. By comparison, pepper spray used by police is around 1.6 million.
Wow.
Bear spray advertises at 2.2 million units. That means this brand new Pepper X is hotter than bear spray.
Uh, and we need to get shirts made or coin that phrase immediately because hotter than bear spray. And I now hear our listeners saying that about women. Like I could just hear some
I think
of our
what needs
listeners
to be Trey's Tinder headline.
Trenholm, hotter than bear spray.
I think we now need to get show shirts made that just simply say, "I'm hotter than bear spray."
And then another one is this is Pepper X, hold my beer.
I think these would sell.
Yeah, I don't know what else you'll do with the Pepper X except for I don't know what's
You make a
stronger
shirt out of it. You sell some shirts. You don't eat the pepper. You just sell on the brand. You say, I am hotter than bear spray. I smell better than cat spray.
If you put that headline hotter than bear spray on a Grinder ad, though,
That's the congratulatory slow clap, Trey.
thank you.
Not the sarcastic one that Raj normally gets.
Well done.
That's the clap that's normally reserved for the unexpected hero of a high school film. Thanks for hanging out with us today in the Treehouse. I know it was worth it for me. And if you're on Grindr, man, it's going to be really worth it for you.